All right. Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Morning, sir. Good morning. Morning, Reaper.
Look at you guys all dressed up. You're in camo, Craig, ready to go.
I just got my new scent lock gear, man. I had to sport it out.
That's
my
awesome.
new Savannah wear. It's for the warmer temperatures down here. So
That's awesome. Well, today is September 18th, 2021, Saturday, and we're excited to start off this new channel today. I put a little bit of work into it, but I forgot this morning to do a thumbnail. So my apologies for being late this morning. It's all my fault.
Oh, we know already. We figured that.
Yeah, we knew.
I love the love in this room.
Well, look, it feels good to be on this side of the table for once, Mike. Usually you're the one who's always on point.
Yeah, well, it happens to the best of us, right?
You're right.
Well,
we got a couple. What's that?
That cough sounds horrible.
It does.
Yeah, I know.
That sounds like a mid-season cough that Reaper, you remember that always during season I get a cough like that. And you'll go out for a hunt and the whole woods knows where you're at. Just from that cough. They used to make a gimmick. It was called a cough silencer. I don't know if you remember that, Reaper. It was probably about 15, 20 years ago. Didn't work.
Yeah. I'm a little too young to remember that.
Yeah, don't worry. It didn't work. Good thing you didn't know about it. Gimmick.
Well, we got a couple of special guests this morning joining us. We got Uncle Lou, and we've got Nelson from Tennessee at the top of the second hour joining us for the fishing talk. So pretty excited to have these two special guests with us this morning, even though I'm still kind of not 100%. It's the cough that's kicking my rear end now, so I got to get over the cough.
You'll be good, buddy. It'll be all right.
I'm going to survive. That's for sure. Well, should we bring Lou in and start a conversation with him and see what he's got to show us this morning?
Yes,
let's
sir.
bring Lou in.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Lou, to Liberty Warrior. How are you, sir?
I am well. Is the camera working all right?
I do not see you on the camera, but we hear you just fine.
Yeah, we hear you great.
I hit allow, and then I got a note that said somehow something was blocked.
Not on our end. You're not blocked on our end.
You want to give me a few, maybe take me backstage again, and I'll mess around with this and give you a message.
When you accepted it, don't use DuckDuckGo because it won't allow a lot of things to happen. So
I did not. I used the Evil Empire at Google.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one we have to use. That's the one we have to use.
The devil's platform usually works.
Should I try to log out, log in, gentlemen? I apologize for this, but I'm a bit of a technical idiot.
No, that's all right, man. It's all good. So yeah, let me boot you out, and you just come back in. How's that?
Perfect.
I'll give it a try.
All right. See you in a few. All right. Well, it happens to all of us.
Look, he's right on par with how we like to do it, buddy.
Yeah, he's rolling with us just fine. He fits right in here.
That's right in.
Yeah.
I was trying to get my Beast Gear shirt, but it's in the rotation. It's in the wash right now, so I wasn't able to wear my Beast Gear.
Well, I did the little thumbnail, and I put the link in there to kick everybody over here to this channel, and they're starting to come in a little trickle here, so that's pretty awesome.
I did a little video too, so I put one out,
you?
put the link in there right before I jumped in. So
yeah, it'll take a learning for everybody to get over on this channel, but we're trying to separate the big channel from this channel and do our own thing. So I'm pretty excited about it. How about you, Reaper? We finally got our own channel here.
Yeah, I'm real excited. I'm real excited to speak with Uncle Lou this morning. I spent probably 2 hours on the phone with him last night. Just a great guy and a great storyteller. I mean, I'm excited about this.
for sure, man. Look, Uncle Lou's, he's well known. So he's and we love, I mean, heck, these guys, we've been watching them for years and using their products, and that's why it's special to have somebody like that on. So
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. And then at the top of the second hour, we'll probably roll over a little bit since I was late. But for the second hour, we got Nelson, who owns a fishing company in Tennessee there, and he sent me some photos over, a whole library of them. This is gonna blow your mind on these fish, man. I'm telling you. You guys better stay tuned for this whole show, because the photos I'm gonna show you guys. If I can't make it to Tennessee, I'm going to be upset. All right. Yeah. Lou, welcome back. We still don't see the camera, but if you're all right, we'll just go ahead and roll. And everybody can hear you.
Okay. I apologize. This is why I wanted to kind of test the hookup and see if I needed Gabby to help me get through my techno deficiencies.
We all got them. We all got them.
It's all good. So, sir, could you maybe just give us a little bit of your background for people who may not know who Uncle Lou is?
Well, we started Stealth Outdoors, I'm embarrassed to admit, back around 2008. And we had a product called the bark silencer. You wrapped around the tree so you didn't make noise when you rubbed up against the tree bark at the moment of truth. And it never sold. And somehow I ended up finding Dan Infalt through hunting forums. And around 2009, we started becoming friends. I think he kind of took a little pity on me. He said to me one time, he goes, "Lou, you're a really nice guy. You could sell some product if you just had a good product to sell."
That sounds like Dan.
Yeah, I do a pretty good Dan impression anymore. So he called me one night. It was late October 2009. And he, "Lou, need you to make me some cable silencers." I squeaked my boot on the cable and I spooked my buck. So I get up, we chat for a while, and I get off the phone, and my wife goes, "Who was that?" And I go, "Oh, that was Dan Infalt." She goes, "Oh, is that the guy from the forum you're always on?" Kind of mocking. You know how wives get when you're first on the forum. So I started to go to work making some cable silencers, and I tried snaps and magnets and this and that. And we were coming up on January, and Peterson's bow hunting guide would always have a gear guide, and I announced him in there, late fall, and I didn't have him ready. So I'm kind of standing in the kitchen, kind of grumbling and complaining to my wife as I normally do, and she goes, "Why don't you use two-sided tape?" And I started to mutter, "Why don't you use?" And before I could get it out, I was down in the basement looking for two-sided tape.
They come up with the good ideas.
And that's where it started. I mean, I did do a lot of research into different tapes and a lot of destructive testing, but we already had the fabric that we were using on the bark silencer, so that made it easy. But some days I really feel like I just was walking down the hall with some chocolate tripped and fell in the peanut butter.
Yeah, that's good point. Yeah, we see your products on everything. I mean, everybody's using them because they work.
Yeah, so. I've got Stealth Strip on my platform that I use, and it's different than any other material. It's not a tape. It's not. It's got an adhesive on it, but it's like almost like a fabric, and it has on the back side of it. It feels like almost like fleece or something.
Yeah, or suede almost.
Yeah.
I would say suede. Yeah.
It is referred to as a suede. Some people call it buck suede, but it is a suede, and it's a very durable material, as I think you guys found out.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Holds up in the weather too.
My platform, I mean, if you tried to take it off, it wouldn't come off. It would be rough.
Yep.
Yeah, we always worried. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, which is how it should be.
I'm just letting you, Lou, that I've got your webpage pulled up on this big screen here, and I'm just going through the products and the camo patterns and stuff for everybody, just so they can see what your website looks like. And
I appreciate that. I do see that, and That's probably better than looking at me. I had a friend from Iowa. He saw me on a YouTube video I did with one of Dan's guys at the Hunting Beast, and he said, "Lou, you got a face for radio."
That's probably why the camera's not working, Lou. We might be blessed this morning. No, I'm just
I might be. I did my hair and everything. I'm volumizing shampoo.
Well, you got a permanent.
That verbena stuff is great.
So, well, it's a pretty interesting story how you got started in all this, and it's pretty neat how your wife kind of had an input that helped you as well. So that's pretty amazing.
That is.
Well, I wanted to speak to the longevity because 10 years ago, I'm always fearful, so we did a lot of destructive testing. When you're starting out, you have no idea how long things are going to last. But now we're in our 11th year, and I think there's still people with stuff on. I mean, when people ask me how long it lasts, I can with confidence say 5-10 years, it's just fabric. You can beat the heck out of it and it can last less, but it does last, and we're happy.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say is on that page that you're looking at, Mike, the smoke camo pattern is actually Uncle Lou's camo. The other ones are true timber, but the smoke pattern is the camo that him and his buddy designed.
Yeah, I looked at the smoke camo. It looks pretty neat.
Very, very cool.
And Reaper, that's what you last week that you wanted to talk about. I'm happy to. And you are correct. Those are all true timber patterns except for the smoke. So one day if you want me to jump into it, let me know.
Yeah, go ahead.
For sure.
So was that 2 years ago? I'm down in the shop. I stare at camo all day, and I realize, and I apologize to the hunting world and other camos out there, because we know the hunting world needs a new camo pattern like Tom Brady needs another Super Bowl ring. But again, I stare at camo all day, so it just happened. So I started with the name, and probably because Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a brand ambassador for True Timber, I'm thinking smoke. Wouldn't that be a cool name for a camo pattern? And I tried to get True Timber, like, you can't just come out and tell somebody an idea. You got to develop it to some point. And really along the way, they kind of blew me off. And I get it. I get people approach me with things. And, I've got my next 6 months to a year planned out, and somebody thinks you should make something else that just kind of derails you. So I get it. I'm not upset with them. But so I just started to bootstrap it. And at first I was tracing shapes. So what I wanted to do was I wanted an open all-terrain camo pattern. And I was gonna, like a woodland camo has kind of random shapes, just blobs of various shapes and forms. So I started tracing lakes and rivers throughout the country to represent our customer base, because I'm very geography oriented. I travel a lot through the country, and I really can, when I meet somebody and they're from someplace, I can say, I just drove through there last week. I was there 2 years ago, or I got a plane ticket there, and I used to travel a lot for work, and even in this business we do. So I wanted it to be inclusive to all the customer base. Well, my neighbor Ron, good friend, he's retired. He was helping me trace these shapes, and we were trying to get something for this graphic designer to digitize. So, and the graphic designer I found from I think they call it CC. There's a real renowned, and pardon me, I don't know the exact name, real renowned graphic design school in Detroit. I think it's called CCS. So I, for some reason, called up Greg Godfrey at Tethered, and I said, do you know any graphic designers? And he goes, as a matter of fact, I do, Lou. And he's right there in Michigan. And it turns out Derek Kappa was about an hour away from me. So we sat down with him, and I was showing him all these drawings that Ron and I did. And on the last leg of Ron and I working together, Ron's wife was out of town, and Ron and I have been known to tip a couple beers, and he smoked cigarettes. So he got a few beers in him that night, and I wish you could see my hands. He's tracing the smoke swirls. So he gives it to me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, Ron. That's kind of not my story. That's not my vision. So I sat down with Derek, and I gave him the big, long story that I probably just wasted everybody's time on because it isn't what we did. And he gets to the smoke, and he grabs that, and he just forgot about everything else. I could just see that's where it was going. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not the boss.
That is awesome.
So
Now,
go ahead.
I was going to ask, are you doing it on clothing yet? Have y'all put it on
Yes.
gear yet?
So when we started with it, what I feel we do better than anybody is we make stealth strips. We make peel and stick adhesive camo. So I got some in the shop. We started making smoke stealth strips, but I'm like, can't just have a camo pattern, not have clothing. So we did some shirts and we did some hats. And honestly, they don't sell real well. Smoke stealth strips, they fly out of the shop pretty well.
Well, heck, Uncle Lou, where can I go to get them right now? Your the shirts, your gear.
StealthOutdoors.com.
Gotcha. I'm doing it.
I just had the whole website up there.
Well, I wasn't sure if that's where the clothing was, buddy. I was just
everything's on his webpage. It's right here.
There's a separate smoke page, and I think they're also under products. You're on the camo patterns right now.
Yeah, no, I love it. You're on to something.
There's the camo. Yeah, there's the camo right there.
I love how you included topography, like that was your motivation. That's the coolest part about it, I think.
Once he gets into the story more, you'll understand why he is not fully blown when into camo, like clothing business. We discussed that last night. I told him everybody's waiting on the pants, the full outfit, but he was just getting into it about.
That's a good look.
About clothing.
I really like it.
I like it a lot.
See that little tag on the pocket?
Yeah, made in the USA.
That's probably the best part about it.
Yeah, made in the USA.
I found, I don't know, early on, I don't know how long or if you guys go on the Facebook stuff, but when we first got these, the shirts and the hats last October, we found a bikini shop down in just north of Detroit in Royal Oak, Michigan, about 6-7 miles north of Detroit. So I often, when we were starting, I would say, hey, I went down to the bikini shop today, but we're doing them in small batches right down there. And we still have some left.
That makes it even better. It's made at a bikini shop. I mean, that makes it even more.
That's pretty.
That's great.
I could see you wearing a bikini, Craig.
Hey, buddy, I will do just about anything.
I know you will.
Now, this material does have what they call a two-way stretch. When you think of like bikini material, that's a four-way stretch. It goes in both directions. North, south, east, west, or whatever you want to say. But this material, it's tough, but it only stretches in one direction. So having only printed on this type of material, and we were talking about the material earlier just on strips, but we make clothing out of it. We made the bark sensor out of this material, and we made some shirts back in 13, 14. And that's why I'm a little gun shy, just going all in on camo clothing. Clothing is a beast that I, small guys, I'm just careful with it.
Yeah.
Now, Lou, I got a question for you. I did get online and check your stuff out yesterday because I wanted to get familiar with your products. Now, for a guy like me who just doesn't know, because I don't hunt from a tree, what is a bark silencer? Could you explain that to us, and why did you develop that?
Well, a friend of mine, so many years ago, I had a small contracting business, and a guy that was working with me actually fell out of a tree stand and had a bad accident. He messed himself up pretty bad, but he recovered. So when he was in the hospital, apparently with his head banged, he thought he became this mad inventor, and he invented the tree bark silencer. So it's that same material that we make stealth strips with a fleece pad on the back just to give it a little more body and thickness. And it had 3 straps that went around the tree, and it was like 20 by 40 inches. And it was a hunter who's sitting in his tree stand up against a tree trunk from rubbing his clothing and make noise.
Okay.
And we had some gear belts integrated into it, and then it wouldn't sell, but people wanted me to add pockets and this and that. And all of a sudden, around 2009, I was like, we're done. These don't sell.
It was a great idea.
That's what bark silencer.
Great
everybody
idea.
Everybody who used them always liked. I think it was just that one more thing. I mean, I'm kind of a minimalist myself.
Yeah.
But you got to put it up and take it down. I mean, you can leave them up. They resist weather, but it was just one more thing, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you guys want, I can give a slight demonstration since Lou's cam's not working about what the stealth strips are really about.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And Reaper, you run them on your sticks. So when you're running in, correct?
I don't have them on my news sticks, but
Okay.
yeah, I typically do.
That's where they're going. Yeah.
I'm going to put this right up against the mic. This is aluminum. You hear that dinging?
Oh, yeah.
So
Sounds like the
deer.
dinner bell. I'm on my way. Sounds like the dinner bell.
Now, this is stealth strip against aluminum. You can't, there's a big difference there.
Absolutely.
And Reaper, let me jump in real quick on that. It's a great demonstration. I still feel like a fool for not figuring out the camera, but now I believe stealth strips get their maximum effectiveness when you hit stealth strip against stealth strip. So if you've got two aluminum surfaces both covered, I mean, then it's really going to go down to just a thud, like an acorn hitting the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
Or bundled together in a bundle or anything you're bundling to carry out. I mean, because it's not just sticks. You can use this on pretty much everything. So, and it is weather resistant because I have it on a 2-man ladder stand in the woods.
Typically, you'll see guys run them anywhere aluminum is touching aluminum. So, like on this old worn and sweat tree stand, right there, right where it's getting ready to close, you would see that part where each part touches. You would want to put stealth stripping.
Yeah, just like with clothing, everything we buy, we want it as quiet as because you'll hear even clothing when you're in the woods, just movement, So keeping everything hush hush is key for sure.
And I know you can go out and buy cheap camo tape to put on, but from experience, a guy that's been in the woods multiple times, it's not going to last like a stealth strip. Like you might be able to keep the cheap stuff on your stick for a week if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Stealth stripping doesn't go nowhere.
I don't know what kind of glue he uses. It's like Gorilla Snot. It will not come off. It's hard to it's great. It's good stuff. So.
We hear that a lot. I'll tell you, I joke often. I'll say, and this will probably date me a little bit, but I say stealth strips aren't for breakfast anymore. You guys remember that commercial back in the 70s?
Yeah.
Late 70s, early 80s. It was orange juice. Orange juice isn't just for breakfast anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll get people saying, "Hey, look what I just did with my stealth strips," and I respond, "Hey, they're not just for breakfast anymore."
That's it.
Meaning, obviously, that they have multi-uses. Like people will, I'll be at a hunting show and somebody will go, "What are they for?" And I'll say, "What's duct tape for?" For anything.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Great point.
Lou's probably going to get mad at me for this, but here's some cheap tape. And I put this on here during turkey season. And look, you can see the frilled edges where it's trying to come off.
I didn't know what I was looking at there for a second, Reaper, when you showed that.
That's just a few months, Yeah. This has been on this platform for, I guess, Lou, Tethered's had their platform for what, 2 years?
2 or 3.
Yeah, since I got my platform.
And the feel of it. It's a whole different feel. That suede-y feel is way better than any tape, I find, for sure. So,
gosh, Craig, we hear that so often. I mean, when we started this, I'd never go out there and advertise, to a bunch of manly men that hunt, and kill animals and drag elk out of the mountains, tell them it's soft to touch, but I hear that all the time.
Well, a lot of it, we have a good woman at home, and we have to relate somehow. So you may be bridging a gap here with your product, Lou.
There are a lot of female hunters. I mean, I don't think every female customer we have is just buying for their husbands, because I've talked to them on the phone, and I think they appreciate I think women appreciate that more. A woman made this material. She was working for True Timber. She was actually from Michigan, and she retired. And I've been buying material True Timber, this material, and have a favorite. I stay right with this material. since we started. I started making stuff in 07, the bark silencers.
It's working. Yeah, like you said, don't change it, you know?
Well, gentlemen, if you guys don't have anything else you want to get out right this second, how do you feel about taking some live questions? I'll drop the link in the chat, and anybody who wants to call in and ask Lou questions, how do you guys feel about that?
Wait, I do have personal questions for Lou. Is it hard hanging out with Dan? He seems like a tough guy to hang out with.
I'll tell you what, the only time I really get to hang out with Dan, he's been here at the house, and I've been over to a few of his workshops, but hunting shows. And as you know, that guy's so busy. The funny part is Dan and I have never hunted together.
Wow.
So I really haven't. I mean, shows are I'll spend a weekend with him at a show. But this year we're going to try and do a mountain lion hunt in Colorado. I got a cousin out there that's supposed to have it set up, but I'm a little nervous because I don't have all the final arrangements, and I'm not dealing with the outfitter direct. It's a friend of my cousin's out there. And so I'll probably hit him after this show and say, hey, I need to get in touch. I need to get a deposit out there or something, make it finalized.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah, he's on his bear series right now, I think. Yeah, he's just dropped the third of a bear hunts.
And he's done with that. And I was aware of that he was up there, and I'm pretty certain he's back, but I think he's still putting those out there.
Yeah, they're just dropping now. And if for y'all who don't know, Dan Ingfault is an awesome hunter. I mean, the guy who I learned a lot from in these past few years about marsh hunting and going and he's aggressive. He gets into their bedroom. I love it when he does the ladder hunts where he's up on his ladder. Just he sets it up in the marsh, and it's a genius. It's ingenious and the simplest gear, you know. But
Craig, when you mentioned ladder, hunters might be thinking ladder stand. You're actually talking. He's got a wooden step ladder that he puts out there.
Wooden A-frame ladder, and he's just sitting on it like a painter.
Is it a three-legged ladder?
You store your A-frame, your regular.
I know, but I've used the three-legged ladders before. They're kind of strange.
Those are strange. It's like
they're for picking fruit, actually.
Ah, that's what the reason is. Okay, I never knew why they developed that. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Craig, if you go check out Josh, his recent hunts in I'm not sure where Nebraska, I think. He's wearing the smoke camo.
All right.
That's the hunting, it's on the Hunting Beast channel.
I probably already watched it and just didn't even realize. Yeah. I'm sure I checked it out. So I try to stay away from regular TV.
I was actually looking on the bottom of my screen, and it looked like there were some questions down there, and I missed what you said. Are you talking about Josh being out in Nebraska?
Yeah, he's wearing your smoke camo. In Nebraska.
He's got one. It was funny. So I send Dan. People send Dan things all the time. Dan's done so much for me. So the first thing I do when I get the smoke camo, and I send Dan a shirt, and he gets so many people send him T-shirts and such. He doesn't put it on for a while, and about 3 weeks later, he calls me up and he goes, "Lou, this is a really nice shirt." And I go, "Yeah, Dan, I'm not going to charge $75 for a shirt that's not really nice."
He sounds just like him. I mean, Lou, you got his voice down. You could probably be him right now. Just change the name to Dan.
And until you see me try to go sneak up on that buck like he does.
Boy, I'm telling you, man, he is incredible. And go ahead, Reaper.
I won't say that that Dan and those guys, they're all like THP. That's how my style of hunting began, was because of those guys. There wouldn't be guys out here in their 30s and 20s running up public land, because it wasn't cool to hunt public land 4 or 5 years ago, and now it is because of those guys.
Yep. And I can use it on my private land. Like, the techniques work just as well. We've always been a stigma of not going in that bedding area, or and just like they said, sometimes you just got to do it. I mean, what are you going to do? You want to just sit there and see nothing, or make it happen? So it makes a lot of sense. So
yeah. Well, gentlemen, you ready to answer some questions from the chat?
I'm not afraid.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. There's the link, folks. You guys want to call in and talk to Uncle Lou here, ask some questions. He's all yours. If you got questions for us, I'll take a couple callers just as quick as you guys can call in. So,
oh, Bonnie Phelps calls in. It's one of our women hunters. Bonnie lives down there in Texas, and they got some good deer down there. Really nice deer. So, and Lou, I'm in Louisiana. I'm right below you. Lou, you're in Tennessee, correct? Or where are you located, Lou?
I'm in Michigan, right outside.
You're in Michigan. Okay. Oh, you're near Riddle. You're not far. Riddle's in Flint. One of our guys who does a show with us, Jeff Riddle. So he's not far from you as well. That's tough hunting up there. Everybody hunts.
Some say there's a lot of deer up here, though.
Well, we usually have some pretty good questions on Saturday morning. We have usually we have well over 100 live viewers watching, but since we changed the channel, we made this channel just for outdoors. It might take a couple of Saturdays for people to find us, but usually we always have some pretty good questions on Saturday. This is one of the funnest parts of the show, is actually having live call in and ask questions, and we try to answer them the best that we can. So it's a pretty unique feature of the show.
Camo Carl just asked Lou if you have a YouTube channel.
Yes, we do, and it's at the bottom of our homepage at stealthoutdoors.com. You just click there. I don't know what what the URL is. They always have on YouTube all them strange letters and numbers and hashes. So bottom of stealthoutdoors.com homepage, you can go right to our YouTube channel.
Perfect.
Yes, Bonnie. Craig called you out.
I called you out, Bonnie.
I can't believe Camo Carl hasn't called yet, or Monty. Usually they call in.
Well, Camo Carl's so far in the woods, his reception is horrible. He might be trying right now. So he's a true out, and he's up there in Lou's neck of the woods. He's also right near you. So,
yep. Camo Carl is definitely from Michigan.
Yep.
I just see that. I was scrolling the bottom. Now, I didn't know if I'm supposed to be doing that or waiting for you to bring questions forward.
No, we can answer questions right out of the chat if there's anything in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're being so shy this morning. Usually they call in.
Shy crowd.
We got the shy crowd this morning.
If you guys want to see Uncle Lou's face, all you got to do is type his name in on YouTube, and he'll probably pop up. You know?
I don't want to see it. I heard it's a face for radio, so I definitely do not want to see what he looks like.
He's being humble there. He's not a bad looking guy. I mean, he's a man.
Well, if I ever get the opportunity to hunt with him, I hope he wears a face mask, so I don't have to see him. Just kidding.
I seen him first on the Hunting Beast, is where I first saw him.
Well, I've probably seen Lou before then. I'm just not putting two and two together right now. So
I haven't got out there a lot, but on the YouTube, we don't have like a hunting channel for YouTube. It's more just we're demonstrating how we wrap things in certain pieces of equipment. I usually do the demonstration.
Yep. But I love that little group and all the like Shane Simpson and the Hunting Public and Dan, and they all get together. Joe Rentmaster, am I saying the right? Rentmaster is how you say Joe's the last name, I think. But just all those guys are great guys and exceptional hunters. And I'm always learning. That's the best part about it from watching those guys. So
Dan does have a great group around him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love those public land challenges.
Those are the best. When they get together and collaborate with the Hunting Public, I mean,
awesome.
Dan and the Hunting Public started doing those. When was that in Minnesota? 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was about 3 years. Yeah, they've been doing them steady. Yep.
Because gentlemen, go ahead.
We got Bonnie on the line. She took Craig's call out, and she's in the waiting room. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her in real quick.
Let me hide.
Welcome, Bonnie.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey, Bonnie.
Good. How are you?
We're
I'm
doing
good,
all right.
thank you. Yes, Craig, I took the dare.
I'm sorry, Bonnie. I had to call you out. You always send in the best pictures of all the deer. So,
My question is to Uncle Lou. You were talking about mountain lion hunting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Could you explain how that's done, please?
Oh, that's a great question. So when I was out in, can you hear me all right? It seems like I'm having trouble getting over the background.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
you're good.
So the first mountain lion tag I had was in Idaho in 2006, and it was really what they just sold to supplement your elk hunt. So if you see one, they're trying to control predator populations in certain areas out west. So I just had a tag in my pocket, and I wouldn't consider that a mountain lion hunt. And after that, and I just love going out west. I read about it, and so I'm at a show. Sorry, I'm going to sneak a story in here, but I'm at a show with Dan Infalt in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, and there's a mountain lion guide setting up across the aisleway, and I went, uh-oh. And I said, Dan, keep that guy away from me. And he goes, you don't even know that guy. What do we get with that guy? I said, I'm going to be out in Idaho in a month. And so what they primarily do, Bonnie, is they run them with dogs. You'll go through. We were on snow machines, and you try and cut tracks. He was going around trying to box in a set of tracks in the canyon. You'd get the dog out. Talk about highs and lows. You'd get the dog out to see if that track could be run, if it was fresh, and then he'd have a pack of dogs, and then we'd run. So I did it one time, and I don't know what people think of dog hunting. Usually in the South it's acceptable. Northeast seems about the least acceptable, but they mostly run mountain lions with dogs.
Yeah. We run pigs, so we do a lot of hog hunting with dogs. I got 2 Cane Corsa Mastiffs that I work. Well, one of them's my working dog. I got a buddy's got some Dogo Argentinos, and of course the old school pit catch dogs. But yeah, we do a lot of the same. So it's got a stigma. Dog hunting is weird. It's a tradition. It goes back many families live and just that's all they do. I love it. It's man working with his dog. I could see where landowners get ticked off because dogs don't know fence lines or boundaries, so that causes a problem. But yeah, it's accepted.
So Lou, I actually live right here in the heart of Idaho, and anytime you want to come out here and go elk hunting or something, just let me know.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and Lou, Louisiana. If you're ever in Louisiana, I got plenty of great opportunities. So,
what part of Louisiana? I was just down there in May.
I'm right above New Orleans, so about 45 minutes above New Orleans on the North Shore. It's called St. Tammany Parish.
St. Tammany. Where's my buddy live? Brian Landry, Stick Talons, mobile hunting gear.
Yeah, I sure do.
He's in Pontoula.
He's not far from me, so I'm maybe 30 minutes from Ponchatoula, so not far at all.
I was just down there. So how's everybody doing down there? Those are pretty bad storms. I hope everyone's well down there.
It was amazingly scary at times, but we got through it. It was a hell of a ride. It was like one of those things. Once it was over, we're like, we're alive, and everybody was hugging everybody. So now it's just a cleanup. But it's coming. We're going to come back. We deal with them. Katrina was a mofo, and this one was too. So we're going to come back. So, but Ponchatoula got hit pretty hard. Yeah, where your buddy was hit really hard too.
And that's what he said. And then I heard just west of him. I'm trying to think. I got a friend down there, just east of him. I'm sorry. And I heard that area got hit worse. But I talked to them both, and they both made it through fine. I mean, yeah, some damage, but.
Yeah, Madisonville, Mandeville, all those. I'm not far from those spots, so we got hit pretty good too.
Yeah, Mandeville is where my friend Jason is. Mandeville.
Oh well, good. Well, look, you're right. Tell him he's right by me. So whenever you come to see him, I got you, buddy. We got 500 acres right here. I got another 160 acre private farm. So we'll put you on something for sure. We keep the deer
I gotta
caged
tell you,
and release them when you come. No, I'm just kidding.
them snakes you all have down there are brutal.
Brutal. And the spiders. I was showing the golden orb weavers that's the spider that builds the web right in front of your trail. So every time you're walking in or riding a four-wheeler, that's the one you catch to the face.
Awesome.
We have those.
Well,
in
thanks,
Tennessee.
Bonnie.
Answer Bonnie. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Lou.
Did I answer Bonnie's question?
I hope so. I'm sorry. I butted in.
Yes, sir, you did. And do you use a gun or a bow?
I took a gun. When I was elk hunting, I had a gun, so that's what I was going to use, and I carried one on the one in 2012. And I would probably stay with it. I'm really not a great archer, and I know they mostly trim and you shoot them out of trees, but you don't want to botch that end of it.
Yeah. Especially that animal.
Well, thank you for your answers. This is a really interesting show. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Bonnie. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you,
Take
Bonnie.
care. Love
Thanks,
you too.
Bonnie.
All right. We got a couple more callers in the waiting room too, but Peter wants to know, do you guys ever use a bow or just bullets when you're hunting game? I'm not a bow hunter yet, so I use bullets for sure.
I killed my
But
biggest one.
I'm hoping to get into archery here very soon. So that's my answer.
Bad picture, but my biggest one was with a bow. Actually, I got the deer right here. I'll just show you the deer.
I am strictly bow until December.
I do not let the weapon define me. I'm an any weapon hunter. You know, if a spear, an arrow, a bullet, a hook, I just like to chase fish and game.
There you go. That's awesome.
There's a lot of people like that.
I wouldn't say that I don't hunt out of necessity. You know, I clearly could go to the grocery store, but it just seems more organic and it brings part of nature when you eat what you kill. And so I don't discriminate. You know, I'll use bow, crossbow, longbow, or my archery. I don't shoot compound anymore.
That's a beautiful buck. That's a
Thank you,
beautiful
buddy.
buck.
He's unruly. I need to get him back up. I had to take them all off the wall during the hurricane because the walls were moving, and my wife didn't want to be impaled by my deer antlers. True story.
Well, let's bring in the next caller. This is Jeff and Heather. Welcome to the show. How are you guys? You there, Jeff? Heather? Hello.
They're another deep in the woods couple. So
yeah, let's go to Camo Carl. He's been waiting. Good morning, Camo Carl. How are you, sir? Hello, Carl.
Hey,
Hear
Carl.
me or not?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now? All right. How's it going, man?
It's going well for
I
Saturday.
just want
How
to meet
about you?
Lou. I never heard of him up here. Oh, not
Where
too
you at,
shabby.
Carl?
I just want to get out here, and I'm in Yale, Michigan. I'm in Yale, and I've been sewing military and law enforcement and sporting goods since the 80s. It's kind of my custom, specialty, and I can't believe I don't know about you.
He makes ghillie suits.
Well,
he makes ghillies.
Carl makes ghillie suits?
Oh, yeah, good ones. Good ghillies.
Did I lose you guys?
Oh, no kidding.
I lost you.
You're fine.
Oh, no, we hear you.
We hear you, Carl.
No,
Carl's
yeah,
got-
I'm in an outfit. And I make packs. I make backpacks and shoulder bags and outfits and ghillie suits and hats and tents and bivvy shelters and blinds and fish shanties and I've sewn about everything, Halloween costumes to hot air balloons. And I'm interested in meeting Lou.
Well, if you so, Carl, and even if not, I'm interested in meeting you. Yale's not that far. You're up in the thumb.
Right, right.
Yeah, I'm just in
I've got to
Holly.
get with Appalachian.
Go ahead.
Well, I know where Holly is. I need to get with Appalachian Reaper too. He's got a project for me, but I've been kind of slammed lately. I'm not no more, and I'm going to be getting a hold of you, Appalachian.
I'm sure he heard you. I hear you. I hear you. Good,
Yep,
Carl.
I heard you, Carl.
Right on, right on. Then our neck of the woods just told me I can get my custom camo fabric made. That
Yes,
sounds
sir.
interesting.
Yeah, we should talk.
I'd love to. I just subbed to your channel. I've got a channel that I started not long ago. Check me out. I'm also Fraser Sewing on Facebook. Check me out there too. I think we need to know each other.
I couldn't agree more, Carl. I mean, right on my website, it's easy to contact me. If you drop me an email with maybe some of these links, and then we'll chat outside the show, when we're done here, and I'd love to meet you.
Oh, and Lou, we have vetted Carl already, so he's good to go. Yeah, he's good to go. So don't be freaked out by him. He is kind of scary, but he's a good American. So don't worry.
If he's former military and law enforcement, he's okay. Thanks for your service, Carl.
No, I'm not No. I just sew for them.
Oh,
They wouldn't take
okay.
me.
I
I was a juvenile delinquent, no school. Bad knee. I tried like a bugger to get into the military for a long time. They wouldn't take me back in the day.
Uncle Lou, I take
do
it back.
know a lot of military. No, I don't want anybody thinking I'm something I'm not.
And I appreciate that clarification. I misunderstood.
I do this for military and law enforcement. I sew patches for $1 a piece, no matter what they are or how many there is. I've been doing that for about 30 years now. I know a lot of military, and they always have some idea. They want something somewhere, some pocket or something modified. I modify a lot of existing people.
Also useful in the hunting world. If really, especially with this new platform hunting. I'm looking at ways of snapping on platforms to backpacks and just getting in and out easier. So,
yeah, guys, yeah. I was losing you. I had to come in the house.
Uh-oh.
That's funny, Reaper. I'm having a heck of a time just hearing you guys, and I think there's like a 10-second delay.
Yeah, back here in these hollers, I don't get very good internet service. It doesn't matter.
That's the one thing about hunting shows. Usually our crowd is not in the city, so we don't get the benefits of that high-speed internet.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, Carl. We'll get you in contact with Uncle Lou. I got another caller I got to get to real quick.
Love you, Carl.
Nice to meet you, Lou.
Carl,
nice to meet you, Carl.
Just get a hold of me, and I'll send you his email.
Right on.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Later, Carl.
All right. Let's try Jeff and Heather one more time. Hello, Jeff and Heather. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
There they are.
Sorry about that, fellas. So I got a question for Uncle Lou, and I've asked this Reaper, had a conversation about camouflage before, and I know there's not like a one size fits all as far as designs and geographical locations, and I really was interested in his Uncle Lou's take on designing, like the science behind the art of camouflage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I want to be straight up. I'm just some novice that looks at camo all day, and I figured out it really wasn't that hard to do it. But I didn't get real scientific. And the funny thing is, I graduated from Eastern Illinois University in 1990 with a degree in geology. So I am somewhat of a scientist, not non-practicing anymore. But so my third career. And I am adamant. If you look at the description on my website, I tell you I'm not the smartest guy in the world, like every other camo designer is. Every other camo designer wants to just break arm, patting themselves on the back how smart they are with all this science. I just threw a pattern together. I wanted it to look cool. I don't know what the big camo companies. I know I'm not making them quake in their boots, but you got to give this to me. I got the coolest name in camo.
Yes, I like it.
Most definitely.
So
Yeah,
to get
I just-
Smoke.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You go right ahead, sir.
I was going to say, just to get slightly more technical, what I was going for is an open all-terrain pattern. So when I first started making the bark silencer in 07, I started researching camo, like which one should I get? I ended up with conceal because it had a lot of tree bark on it. But then, as time went on, we picked up another pattern from True Timber, and it was strata. I really like the pattern strata, but I thought it was too green. But that stuff just disappears. It's amazing on tree bark how that green just disappears. But I still wanted ours to be a little more open, and I wanted it to be original. I tried to emulate kind of the color pattern that like Enigma used, and it ended up a little more gray. And the more I looked at it, I thought that'd be perfect for Skyline. And I've had some people tell me that it doesn't have enough green in it, and I kind of disagree with that because it seems to blend real well in the green up too for turkey. So I think it is fairly versatile, but when it comes to camo, there's so many patterns. How many are there, Reaper? Does anybody know how many patterns there are? There's got to be 100 or more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there's a
many.
lot.
Oh, hundreds, yeah.
Too
I mean, it
many
started
to
off.
count.
Yeah,
Well,
think about
I
real
guess
tree.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
you jump in. You got another question. You jump in with it.
Well, you were talking about how, your geological background there and how you were kind of playing with river patterns and things like that. And I don't think that people who sit in an office and design camo are probably the smartest people. I think the hunters out there who are utilizing the camo in whatever given area are probably going to be more clued in to what they need to be concealed. So, I mean, that's just how I view that. But, so like Craig has a million different camos. I've seen him wear most of them, I think.
I do.
And, so, and I know that like, if you're hunting from like a saddle, like, Reaper does, or if you're hunting on the ground, it's going to be like different camos for different needs, correct?
Yes and no, but I think we could overthink it as well. And I think you are correct to a point, but I think guys have killed deer with blue jeans and t-shirts, without camo. So
You're right.
Yep.
standing still, blending in your concealment, that's why I don't want to get all like, wow, look at how smart I am. Look at what I did with these macro and micro and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
When we were doing all this stuff, my neighbor's wife, she found one, oh gosh, I don't want to pick, I'm not going to say the company unless you guys really press me. And the guy was like Pixar Studios, and he spent like 2 paragraphs telling everybody how smart he was. And I'm like, that's the stuff that just, who cares? Nobody cares.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and you know what?
I told Reaper tonight, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I told Reaper last night on the phone, I said, if your wife told you, you're going to a wedding reception and she wants you to go buy a new shirt, you're going to go to Target or Kohl's or whatever store you guys have out there, department store, and you're going to go through and you're not going to say, wow, there's too many patterns in here. You're just going to buy one that catches your eye. And so it's just another choice. I did it because it was fun and I could, and I wish, Heather, that I had some more brilliance to espouse on the hunting world. It was just fun.
Well, and
that's
you know
cool,
what brings
though.
it?
No, but that's intelligence within itself. That's
Yeah,
the
the
thing people
co-
don't catch.
The color complaints is a human thing because the deer are colorblind. Well, they see they'll
Right.
see a spectrum of blue. So blue they'll see good, but that's why hunter orange. They don't even it doesn't even ring in their registry. So it's more the pattern, and your pattern is great on there, Lou. That's reminds me of a digital military pattern as well.
Well, thank you. I like how it turned out, but it wasn't the direction I originally saw. But sometimes when you're running a project, it really life doesn't always go the way you want it to go. sometimes you just got to see where it goes. And so I let this one go. When I saw that, my neighbor started by smoking some digital designer, he ended up liking that one more than my idea. And I just watched it go. And when it got, and we had to tweak the pattern a couple times along the way. I had some input in it. And when it finally got to somewhere, I went, you know what, good enough. We could tweak this pattern until we're dead. You know, I could change that thing every day, but it's time to shoot the engineer and go to market. So that's what we did.
Great.
Well, that was all I had questions about. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you,
Heather.
Heather.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Jeff.
All right.
Tell Raina I said
Thank
hello.
you. Will do. Have a great afternoon, guys.
You too.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that section of the show there, Lou. Just real people calling in with real questions, and we enjoy that part of the show.
That was fun. The
All right,
easiest
gentlemen.
thing for me in answering. Oh, good. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the easiest part, the reason I'm not afraid of questions is I know I don't have all the answers, and sometimes I have to say that. Or some
I don't
people
think any of
tap
us
into
has all
line
that.
on
I know I don't have all the answers, but it's fun just to come on this show every Saturday and try to learn something new. Try to teach our viewers something that maybe they don't know. Show them some different things, and we really appreciate having special guests on like you and some of the other ones that we've had on that have American-made products and the littler guys. We're not into the big box stores, so for those of you who engineer things and create things, and we can give you guys a platform to come on here and show your products and tell us about them. I know a lot of the viewers really enjoy that about the show.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
I just want to answer the question that was asked. I don't know if everybody knows this about me, but I buy the cheapest of the cheap. I'm not worried about a price tag. So whenever I go to buy arrows, I look for something that is typically in my price range, which you can get. You're asking bow arrows. I don't have a crossbow anymore, but you can get a pack of 3, I think, for around $30, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right on. But you're right on the money. It's right where they're at on the bolts. Correct.
Yeah, but
A little cheaper if you do the aluminums because you're going to break those. But the carbons will get you good carbon. Yeah, you'll be right around $30. So
yeah.
All right. Well, Lou, before we end this segment, is there one thing that you'd just like to leave the audience, the viewers, with, something that you want them to know or look at on your webpage, or kind of your final thought at the end of this hour?
Oh my gosh, caught me speechless, which I don't get caught off. And I don't have my elevator pitch, so I will leave with this. This is what people search most often: stealth strips and stealth outdoors. Don't forget the stealth strips.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Well, sir, we'd love to have you back on the show as a guest in the future. So if I know I'm putting you on the spot again, but we sure would like to have you back, and we can talk about something else the next time. So you're always welcome here at. I gotta get this down. This is different show, so it's a whole different name. It's LWN Outdoors. I'm used to doing my big show.
Yeah.
I almost said Liberty Warrior.
And also want to tell all the people to go to Lou's website and support the product. Heck, I hear there's he's got a big old back room full of these bark silencers that he couldn't sell. So if we go in there and buy out that stock, he'd appreciate it.
Right. I appreciate that, Craig. Thanks, Mike, for the welcome and the open invite. And I'll try and work on this camera for next time, so you can see this the face for radio.
The face for radio.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to have you back on. And I know Tara put the link in the chat earlier. So if one of you guys could put his link to his webpage in the chat again, we'd really appreciate it. And thanks for joining us this morning, Lou. It was a pleasure meeting you. Hope to see you again here soon on the show. And who knows, maybe when you come out to Idaho, we can go elk hunting. And we got cats out here too. I got a lot of friends with dogs who like to hunt cats in January. So there's really great, right here where I live is probably the top place in Idaho to go black bear hunting.
Wow.
What, Mike? What part of Idaho are you in? What town?
Well, I can't say the town on the air, but I live in central. I live in central Idaho. But if you wanna send me an email, I already have your email, so we can talk off air.
Okay, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I was in what was it, Orofino and Dixie when I hunted Idaho twice.
Yep, Dixie is really good elk hunting. Plus, a lot of people go there for moose hunting too. Orofino, my dad worked just south of Orofino there for a while, and there's some really good fishing up there too, steelhead fishing on the Clearwater. So Idaho's got a lot to offer.
It sure does. It's a beautiful state. I enjoyed my time there.
Yeah,
All
Uncle
right.
Luke.
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you for getting back to me when I reached out to you, for being an awesome guy. We had a great conversation last night. Keep in touch with me. Like Mike said, we'd love to have you back on here, and I'd love to stay in touch with you because I like hearing your stories.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some more of your stories.
You remind me of somebody. You're like one of these guys. The first time you meet him, it's like you've been an old friend. So I think we'll stay in touch.
I appreciate that.
You can get in touch with me anytime, brother. If you get bored with these two and you want to, just get down to brass tacks, call me anytime. No, it's great to have you. I appreciate it.
I'll let you move on to your next guest.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a great Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome, Reaper. Awesome guest, buddy.
Yes, that was totally amazing, Reaper.
Very cool.
What a treasure Lou is. And man, I really would like to have him on a few more times just to get to know him a little bit better. Talk about, more of his products and more of his stories. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about Dan too. He does a really great
right on it.
Impersonation of Dan. And who knows? Maybe we could talk the two of them into coming on together, and we can just let them talk and tell stories. That'd be a good show.
Great. That would be a great show. You're right.
I actually have tried to reach out to Dan.
He's hard to get. Yeah, he's busy.
So we'll see. I mean, it's something for the future, but I mean, don't think that it's not possible, because it's possible.
And heck, Dan's not only got all this hunting stuff going on, YouTube channels, his product lines, but he's also got a full-time job.
Yeah, he's still
just like us. So we're,
Yeah, he still works a day job.
Well, gentlemen, are you ready to switch gears and start talking fishing now? Because I have Nilson with FDB Fishing from Tennessee in the waiting room waiting for us. So I'm ready to bring him in. And like I said, for you folks that stuck around, you're going to want to see these photos of these fish that he takes people out to catch. So let's bring Nelson in. This is Nelson Myers. Welcome, Nelson, to LWN Outdoors. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you, fellas?
How you doing, Nelson?
Doing good.
I'm doing good. It's raining, messing up the fishing here today. So
yeah, we got some on the way.
Yeah, not good.
Well, sir, I know you and I've chatted on the phone for a little bit, but could you start off by maybe giving everybody a little bit of your background, where you come from, and how you got started with your initials, FDB Fishing? The story you told me about, that's pretty interesting too. So you wouldn't mind just give us a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah, I grew up in Pennsylvania. Loved the hunting and fishing. Ended up getting a job maybe at 16, 17 years old at a private trout hatchery in Pennsylvania. Actually lived there. Everybody would come down for striper bait. and an old man, Glenn Asper, would come down all the time, and he get the trout, and he would always ask me to go fishing. And I'm like, man, I mess with fish all day. The last thing I want to do is go fishing. He ended up taking me up to Racetown. We ended up hooking into 5 stripers. 2 weeks later, had a boat, and been fishing for them ever since. Just love the striped bass fishing. But the FDB stands for filleted to boned. My neighbor had a stream running through his property, and every week we would get together, everybody pitch in money. We'd end up with a keg and camping out, drinking beer, and we would stock trout in the stream, and we would tag like 3 trout every week, and we keep the numbers, write down the numbers, and whoever caught a tag one would win the pot. So if nobody caught any, we would carry it over to the next week. So every time someone got a fish on, everyone would wonder, has it got a tag on it? So every time I got a fish on, I would yell, "Filleted to bone," and everybody would come running. So ended up working on a fishing brand now, Filleted to Bone. So there's the story behind that.
That's pretty cool.
I just want to say that I'm originally from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and I've been on Racetown probably, I don't know, 20 times. And that's what we did up there was fish for striper. And I moved to Go ahead.
That's a tough lake to fish.
Oh yeah. And I moved to Tennessee as well, but I'm in the eastern half.
Hey, the East is full of good fishing too. Norris.
That's the lake.
You're not far from Smith Mountain either, right?
Norris Lake is probably 2 minutes that way.
That's awesome. That's a great fishery.
Yep.
So Nelson, so that's the story on how the name came about. So what is it that you offer people that come to your lake? Do you have a full setup service for people, boat, gear, all that kind of stuff? Can they come and fish with you for a day, half a day? What all do you offer people for your services?
Well, I have a place here. People can come and stay. Yes, I have a boat. We provide all the equipment. You just show up ready to have a good time. It's the Cumberland River. Amazing striper fishery. Quality fish. The numbers are here as well, but the quality just stands out. I'm talking, average, probably 18-pound fish.
Well, I got them all teed up right now, so we can share screen and we can start talking through some of these photos that you sent me. You guys ready for this? I'm telling you, man, it looks amazing. So start out with this guy right here.
Oh yeah, his name was Matt Howard. He was from Indiana. He came down fishing. Never fished for stripers before, and I think that was the second one he caught that day. So that's probably about a, I don't know, 12, 15-pound striper.
This boy here looks very happy.
Yeah, well, his dad's sitting right here beside me now. So that's his,
how you doing?
That's his son there. He came down and spent the weekend down here. I forget, what did he end up catching? 7?
Yeah, he caught 7.
7, and
that was about 22 pounds.
That one was about 22 pounds there.
Wow, that's a nice fish. Nice fish. This one here looks pretty good too.
That was the same trip. Mike Beard, he came down with us, fished with him and his son. So that was one of the 7 too.
Beautiful fish.
Oh, the fishery here is amazing. I mean, the quality of fish.
Go
ahead.
Growing up fishing Raystown, it's completely different down here, isn't it?
It sure is. Racetown, I mean, you would fish your butt off to catch a few stripers. You know, you would go trips 2-3 days at a time and not catch a fish. Here, it's just amazing. I mean, I'll have 5 rods out at one time, and all 5 of them will go at the same time.
So is Bearded Mike? Is he wearing your T-shirt there?
Yeah, that is an FDB. That is an FDB T-shirt right there. The High Viz.
Yeah, that's a nice looking shirt.
I like that shirt. I know. I'm a T-shirt junkie, so I'll be ordering one.
Awesome. Do that. I'll send you out one.
Man, I would love it. Don't worry. Look, I'm going to support you big time for sure.
You coming down fishing?
Well, I'd be going up. I'm in Louisiana, so I'm down low. So
there you go.
Yep.
I was in Lake.
Man, there's this. You look at the bottom of the boat, and there's just fish laying everywhere.
Everywhere, I know.
Look at it. Look at his feet. Look at his feet. There's fish laying at his feet.
It's like stripers were carp, and they're just jumping in the boat.
Yeah, that's funny. I took these guys out whenever I first moved down here. I was having trouble getting bait in the spring with the cast net. A couple locals pulled me aside, said, I want to show you something. You're having trouble getting bait. It's easy at night. So you go into a cove, you stick a spotlight out and drive, and those shad are actually follow the boat and the light, and they're everywhere and just jumping in the boat.
Yep. Bait cast. Yeah.
So that's what you use for bait is shad, and you use live bait.
Yes, live bait in the spring and in the fall. You can catch them casting lures as well. That's a lot of fun. I mean, you get a 20-30 pounder on 14-pound test. You got your hands full.
Hell yeah.
That's a nice looking fish right there too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my buddy Chad. I think that was 2 weeks ago, actually.
That's a monster. Good grief.
Yeah, it is a big fish.
Yeah. So when you fillet one of those, about how many, a fish that size, how many pounds of meat do you usually get off of those fillets? I mean, to me, I think you get probably at least 5 pounds off of each side of a fish that size, easy.
You'd be surprised, actually. Because you have to cut the dark meat out of it. So there's a mud line that goes through it. And you got to cut that mud line out.
Like a catfish.
Yeah. And so that takes up some of your meat there. But yeah, you're probably about right. Probably 3 pounds, 4 pounds a side.
That's good. That's good eating right there.
Just wait. There's a couple of bigger fish, folks. Just hold on here. We're not to the big ones yet.
That's what they all say, Mike.
Yeah.
Nelson, I told Mike and Craig a story about me walleye fishing and catching a shad that was probably 8 inches long, and it blew their minds. But here in Tennessee,
that was true.
I snagged it.
Dang.
Yeah.
This your buddy here looks like he's about to have a hernia trying to hold that fish up.
I know.
I think that fish weighs quite a bit.
He should have stuck it in some suspenders.
Yeah, he's lazy, man. So that's probably his daily workout right there.
Great.
Now that looks like a fish right there.
That
is a fish.
That was 54 pounds.
Wow. Look at the belly on that.
Where you live in Tennessee, I know you got your license already, so why don't I take you on a hunt and you can take me out to fish?
We can do that. I'm always up for that. I love the hunting too. We can work out something.
All right.
That's tick for tack.
That is a nice
that's a monster. Man.
That's bigger than he is almost.
I mean, look at it. It really is. It's like the fish makes him look small.
I'm going to try to keep catching them then because I'm getting bigger and bigger.
Man, it's working.
I mean, look at those fish, man. Those are some nice looking fish.
Yes.
So how many people can you take out at one time on your boat there, Nelson?
I would say 4. So me and my buddy here, he's like my mate, and probably 4 other people. I have a 22-foot center console.
There you go.
Yep.
It's a nice looking fish
That's a
too.
big one
That
right there.
there was caught off the dock.
Wow.
Yeah, I was sitting on my dock, and it was probably, I don't know, midnight. Live shad on a bobber, and caught that one.
Wow.
So for fish that size, how long does it usually take for you to reel one of those things in?
It depends. You'd be surprised. Sometimes the smaller ones take off more than the big ones. Sometimes it's like the big ones don't even realize they're hooked, and then all at once shoot out. But probably, I don't know, big one, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Wow.
That's a fight.
That is.
For those of you who don't realize it, I fought a 6-foot sturgeon for 20 minutes, and it felt like I was trying to reel a Volkswagen Bug off the bottom of the river, and it was all I could do to put my feet on the guardrail, the handrail, and horse that baby in. And by the time I finally got him to the back of the boat, my arms were just jelly, man. They were gone. And my shoulders, I mean, my back, every muscle in my body horsing one of those babies in, I worked it. And I knew it once I got that fish in.
Yeah,
Wow.
they jump too, right? Those tarpon. Did it come up out of the water?
No,
Yeah.
not sturgeon. Sturgeon don't come out of the
sturgeon.
water.
No, but we got tarpon down here. They do. Yeah, tarpon are, man, monster fish too. We have a tarpon rodeo, as a matter of fact, in Grand Isle.
I would love to go tarpon fishing. That's one of my bucket list right there.
Yeah. Now, do these fish run like so like we go to Perdido, Gulf Shores, Alabama, and we'll go out king mackerel fishing. And it seems like they'll see the boat and run. So it's like 45 minutes till you're reeling the fish. Do these fish do the same? When you get them close, do they run out?
Yeah, it's not like a catfish, like a bite. These things just hit full bore. You'll be trolling along and the rod will just bow in half and drag will start screaming.
Wow. That's gotta be awesome. Yeah.
See, even the ladies are getting into this.
Yeah.
Look at the gals here that have caught some really nice fish.
I mean, look at the bellies on these fish.
She had to wear a fighting belt because the rod was putting bruises on her stomach from the fight. So she made a fighting belt.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking fish.
I mean, man.
That's wintertime too. That was in the cold. But the fishing here is amazing. They do take off for the spawn up at the dam, and they're going for a little bit, but I mean, you can still chase them at the dam.
What's the ideal time of year? What do you find is what is your time of year for these to be out there?
Well, if you want to catch a monster, it's going to be in the spring because they're full of eggs. So a big female, that could add 10, 15 pounds, even 20 probably.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, the size of them, it's amazing.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yes.
You're speechless there, Reaper. Usually you have something to say. Those are some nice looking fish. I told you guys this guy was serious.
He keeps licking his lips. That's all Reaper's doing.
Well, you wait. I put him on some, and then he'll be addicted.
Yeah, I believe you. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been out fishing. I mean, hunting has pretty much took over my life. So seeing those big fish makes me want to get out there.
Absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
Happen.
We'll make it happen for sure.
Heck yeah.
So what's your website there, Nelson, so that I can put it in the chat for people real quick?
I don't even have one.
You don't have one. Well, how do people contact you if they want?
How can I get a shirt?
Word of mouth. I mean, I stay busy. Before I even was guiding, I would go into the dock and have fish, and everybody would ask me, holy cow, are you a god? Are you a god? I'm like, no. And then when I ended up getting my license, then just the word spreads.
That's awesome. We're going to force you to many things now.
You better get a web page put up or something here before long.
My brother
and if you
the same thing, and I try to fight technology and the
man, I don't know.
At least YouTube, definitely a YouTube. Do you have a YouTube channel by any chance?
I don't. Yeah.
Nelson, you need to get one, man. Would it be awesome to watch you out there doing that?
Yeah,
that would be great.
We're talking about getting a drone and flying the drone and video the drone. I think it would be awesome footage.
Well, I am trying to plan a trip out there at the end of this month to meet Nelson and to go fishing with him on his boat, and then to hit something else in Ohio too. But I'm still coming out of the sickness, and I'm want to make sure my mom's doing okay too before I really commit to anything. She's still fighting right now, so if she comes out of it feeling good and she feels good enough to watch Noah for a few days so I can get on a plane, then I am planning on flying into Tennessee and going fishing with Nelson. And what we were going to do is try to do a live show right there on the boat, or at least do a pre-record, and then we can premiere it here on the show and play the whole video. So we do have things to try to help promote Nelson. And, this is homegrown boy. This is America right here at its best. So,
I mean, I can give you my cell phone number. Anybody wants to call.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, Nelson. I like crank calling people at nighttime, man. You'll get all kind of freaky calls from me.
You might
I tell you what, if people want to go fishing with Nelson, what you can do is just send me an email at libertywarriornation.com. Put attention, what are the initials of your thing? FDB, right?
Yep.
FDB. Or Nelson, whatever you want to put on that email. And what I'll do is I'll forward those emails on to Nelson, and then he can communicate with you there. And we can try to help you out there. So
I love that shirt, man. I love that shirt. I love the bony fish on there. That's what I'm definitely.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's cool.
It just amazes me how he is the fishing version of me. We're both in Pennsylvania, boys. We both moved to Tennessee.
That is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
He's a way better. I like Nelson a lot more. I'm sorry, Reaper. I mean, I love you and all, but Nelson seems to be a way better talker. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We always take shots at each other every episode. So that was my hit back.
I
like Camo Carl's comment about drones in lakes. Apparently there are a lot of drones at the bottom of lakes. so you might want to get really good at flying a drone before you take it to the lake. Yeah. I know I had a drone take off on me once, and it took off, and I don't know if my friend ever did find that thing.
Yep. It's a $300 or $400 investment underwater pretty fast.
Yeah.
My neighbor ended up buying a drone and then didn't read the directions and didn't even program the remote to the drone. And then the drone just took off. And he ran in the house and he got his kids and his wife. And he said, if you want to see this drone, you better get out here.
Before it's gone.
Yep.
That's great.
Well, if you gentlemen are ready, I could drop the link and we can take some questions for you there, Nelson.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here you go, folks. You guys want to call in? I know, I think Monty said that he had a question for you, so I'm sure he'll call in. I don't know. Really amazing fish that you have there in your waterways, and if you haven't fished something that size, folks, I would say now's the time. Yeah. I like crappie and stuff. And crappie fight really good, and they taste good. But, man, wouldn't it be nice to really hook into one of those striped bass? And
Nelson, what is the size? Do they have a restriction? What is your smallest striper?
I believe
down here.
I believe they have to be 24 inches.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. I mean, that's good size fish. Because like down here we have the speckled trout, redfish, and we have to go by those certain sizes.
Yeah,
So
you have slot limits and stuff, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, yeah. So
well, here's Monty. So let's hear what he has to say. Hello, Monty. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
hello, Monty.
Howdy, Monty.
How are y'all doing? Hey, Nelson.
Good.
Yo.
So, do you have your own guide service already set up, or?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Right on. I've been trying to convince my fishing buddy that we need to go to Tennessee because I'd watched some Catfish Dave videos and he was catching some stripers and they're huge, just like your pictures.
Yeah, man.
It's phenomenal. I mean, the fishery here is just simply amazing. I mean, like I said, probably average 15, 18 pounds. And
wow.
You can go for trophy stuff. You can go use the live skipjack, and you're talking, your bait's going to be 22, 25 inches.
Yeah. So is that what you use, a skipjack?
A
lot?
Skipjack, shad most of the time. The gizzard shad are a lot easier to get than the skipjack. The skipjack are really hard to keep alive. And being that big, you can only keep a couple in the bait tank at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of rod and reel setup do you use?
We're using Mad Cat. Mad Cats, I don't know if you ever heard of those rods. They're medium heavy to heavy action, 7'6", line counter reels. You can get that. The Shimano's, the Akumas, all that works. We're running 30-pound mono and then 20-pound leader with fluorocarbon with the leader.
That's some heavy gear. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Big fish.
Man.
Oh, we get snapped off too.
Wow. Man.
Just seeing those pictures makes.
Go ahead, Monty.
Go ahead. Just seeing those pictures, jump in a vehicle right now, head your way.
You might want to wait. It's raining like heck. It's not good.
Love catching big fish.
Oh, it is addicting. I just love it too. Now I love watching everybody else, that look on their face when one of those things hit. And then, you either let them set the hook or you set the hook, you hand them the pole, and they don't even know what's going on. Everybody's all fired up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Then you get 5 on at one time. All 5 rods go at the same time.
That's got to be crazy. Yeah, huh? What's that, a mad dash?
Yeah, stuck under me. Go over me.
Yeah, it's like wicked tuna.
Yeah.
When they double up or triple up, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the striper in Texas Lake, they don't get near that big.
No, but you got a heck of a fishery there in Texoma too. That's a numbers lake. You get natural reproduction in that lake, right?
My buddy, him and he.
Uh-oh. We lost him.
Oh, man.
That's all right. It's my stupid cousin anyway.
There, I put your email address in the chat.
Awesome.
Nelson. There's Nelson's contact information if you guys want to reach out. You guys want to reach out to him and ask more questions, book a trip. Sorry about that, Monty. I don't know what happened, but
I don't know.
I don't want to put your cell phone number in the chat. Just your email. So if you guys want to reach out to him, there you go.
Awesome.
I do crank emails too, Nelson. So I'll be sending you one as well.
Definitely. I love it.
Go ahead there, Monty. I'm sorry you got cut off.
Oh, that's all right. It just bounced me all the way out, and I come right back in.
Can't get rid of them. Sorry.
What the crane?
Nothing. Go ahead, Monty.
Oh.
Is it okay if I get your information from Mike through an email?
Sure.
I'm getting it right now, Monty. I'll send it to you. I'll text it.
Right on.
Yeah, the email's in the chat, Monty.
I got it for you, buddy.
I put his email in there.
He's special.
Right on. I'd love to go fishing on the Cumberland. I watched a few videos. There's a couple of cat fishermen and around in there in that area that I've been watching, and
The
pretty good
catfish,
sized river.
yeah, and the catfish are big too. I believe the world record walleye came out of here too.
Ooh,
Boy, wonder how big that sucker was.
I forget what it did weigh, but it's out of Old Hickory.
Wow.
yeah. How big's the blue cat and the flathead come out of there?
I'm not sure, but the paddlefish is the interesting one to me. Like, I was never around that at all, and I didn't actually fish for them, but I went up to the dam and watched them fish for them, and they're a filter fish, so you have to snag them. And the whole month of May, they're in here, and I'll go up there and watch them. But I watch those guys bust up equipment. They snag into one of them 80, and then all that current with all 4 generators running, and then you snag something 80 pounds. They're taking off running down the bank, out of line, snap the rod. It was entertainment, if nothing else.
Yeah.
All right, Monty,
Yeah,
I emailed you Nelson's email. Sorry. Just
Thank
you
you,
know.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spoonbill, they run right in that same season in Missouri too.
Yeah, that's real popular in Missouri, I think. My neighbor ended up going to Missouri, and he ended up sending me. He was at the boat launch, and somebody caught a big one. He took a picture and said he caught it, and he was full of crap. But it was
that sounds like our kind of stuff, man. I'm always doing that.
Sounds like a fishing picture to me.
Yeah, I'm always taking a picture with everybody else's big buck, not mine. Somebody else's.
It gets everybody stirred up, though. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
I like the Photoshop pictures on Facebook, and then everyone gets all fired up.
You're taking it to a whole nother level, Nelson.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you come on the show, Nelson.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure, there's other questions I have after I get off of here, but I'll let y'all later.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Cumberland River is also known for the trout fishing, isn't it?
Yeah, the Caney Fork is really well known for the trout fishing. The lower 2 miles of it loaded with striper too. I hear the trout fishing plane, and they get the trout on, and then the stripers come up and hammer the trout. I'm sure a 20-pound striper on 4-pound test gets interesting.
Yeah, I bet. So, what's the craziest story that you have to share with us, Nelson, for fishing out of the back of your boat?
I don't know what the craziest story is. Probably back at Racetown in Pennsylvania. We were fishing a tournament there, and we got frustrated. It was pretty hilarious. Of course, we had the cuddy cabin boats then because we'd stay Friday till Sunday, and fishing with a buddy of mine, Tony Utzi, and we get frustrated. One goes up in the cuddy, falls asleep. The other one laying across the seat sleeping. I'm just sitting there trolling along 105 feet of water, not graphing anything. All of a sudden, the rod just bows in half.
Then everybody's running.
Did that wake people up? You there, Nelson? Uh-oh.
Sorry, we lost you there.
We got you back. He's back.
When the rod bowed in half, did that wake everybody up? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we hear you. Yep, we hear you.
Uh-oh. We lost it.
Hey, what's a Saturday without a train wreck?
Exactly. It's all good. It's all good. We got a little while to go here.
Captain Trainwreck's in the audience. I see Travis is right there. What's up, Travis? Good to see you.
Yeah, Travis is the captain of the train.
King of the, yes, and the crickets.
And the crickets. Gotta love the crickets.
I love it. He's got his own bait shop behind him every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you one
thing.
Reaper.
Go ahead, Reaper.
He's right about that. At Raystown, you would go stay the whole weekend, and that's how it was. And you might catch one the whole weekend if you're lucky.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's really tough fishing. There's so much bait in that lake. They have the alewife and the shad.
yep. We used to go.
Then it's a flooded out town too, so you got the trees and stuff under the water. So you get a big one on, they take you straight to the trees.
Oh man,
Yep.
that's got to be a nightmare. Yeah.
So your story when that rod bent in half, did that wake everybody on the boat up or what?
Yeah, I jumped up and the kid in the seat jumped up at the same time. We ended up colliding into each other to get to the rod. It ended up being a 30-pounder, and we ended up, I believe, with the lunker in the tournament. But I couldn't believe it. 105 feet of water, not graphing anything, complaining, hungry, tired, and then all of a sudden, pow,
bam.
So, question is who's standing behind you there in the chat?
That's my buddy Chris Kepley. He's my mate. He's on the boat with me all the time.
How you doing?
I bet you he's got all the stories. The mate has all the stories that Nelson doesn't want to talk about right now, probably.
So yeah, tell us who really catches all the fish? Is it you or is it him?
Well, I believe it's a good teamwork effort that does that. Nelson really knows the river. We do a lot of traveling up and down the river, trying to find the holes, trying to find where all the fish are stacked in, and it's generally pretty easy to find them. Like I say, the graph is usually just jam-packed full with just fish after fish just stacked on top of each other. And then, we get that bait down where them fish are, and then it just pretty much, it's showtime when that happens. When they're ready. Even usually in the middle of the day, anytime, we catch them. A lot of, when you get a lot of boat traffic and stuff out here on the river, it sort of slows the operation up a little bit. But, you just got to put them baits down where them fish are, and just keep fishing hard. And, we generally don't have any problems.
So when you guys start your day, how early in the day do you guys start?
Well, we can start at daylight or we can go out at 9 o'clock.
It doesn't really matter.
It really doesn't matter here.
It depends
Really?
how hungover the people get the night before.
That's a great look. That's a great fishery. That's perfect. You don't have to wake up early.
Yes. But the key thing is to get the clients and get we love taking young kids, taking fathers and sons and fathers and daughters and mothers and daughters, take them out as family. And I tell you, when we get into them and really hook into them and they get a hold of the rod, and we just talk them through. We make them get up on the boat. You got to keep them fish away from the engine. You got to keep that line from touching going under the boat or touching the boat, because it's easy ways where you can get snapped off pretty quick.
Yeah. See, that's the benefit of going with a good guide like Nelson. A lot of people don't realize. You'll spend a fortune trying to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You just trying to do the boat. The boat is going to be your nightmare.
Yeah.
And then all the gear, the knowledge of where to go to catch them. That's why it's so, it makes sense to go to a guide and use someone like Nelson.
So when you guys book a boat, do you, my buddy here in Idaho, when I went fishing with him, I booked the whole boat, and I could take up to 8 people on his big jet boat. So do you book it by the boat or by the person, Nelson?
It's by the person, because if you get too many, then it's not enjoyable for anybody. So you got a bait tank on that boat too, a 50-gallon bait tank with your shad in it. So 50 gallons, what's that, 450 pounds? That's another couple people right there.
Yeah.
So, by the person. Usually it's 2 people, then anything over that, it's a little extra.
Gotcha. The reason why I had to book the whole boat is just the fuel alone. He couldn't just take one person out and charge them a one-person rate. So if I wanted to go fishing, I had to book the whole boat, and then it was up to me to fill the rest of the spaces with friends and family to go fishing. So I was just curious on how you did it, because it makes more sense to me to have to book the whole boat, because you got your second mate, you've got your fuel cost, you've got all that stuff that's included in any trip. So just wondering how you did it.
Yeah, we don't run the river that like at the ocean. You're not running that far. I mean, you might go, I don't know, 15, 20 miles or something up and down the river. So it's not near like the saltwater, and the boat's not near as big either. But it's an awesome time. I mean,
but I'll tell you, it's real difficult for one person, just like Nelson. I mean, it gets real tiring. Just say if Nelson's by himself and he's taking clients out, during the week and things like that. I mean, it really tires you out. There's a lot for one person to do on that boat. So, when you got me that comes in with him, why he keeps the boat straight running the boats, I'll help him bait, and that just really, takes the stress level off of it when you have that second guy that's there and, helping get bait and, the whole 9 yards, making sure all your knots are good. You got to after every fish, you got to look at your line. You got to check your, and, when you got to retie knots on and you still got planer boards out, it's good to have that second guy there.
Well, I can tell you this. I've only been on one trip. I usually always go fishing with my dad. But I have been on one guided trip. It was very relaxing because the gentlemen like you, they took care of everything. They rigged the poles, they put the bait on. I mean, even if you weren't a good caster, they'd cast the line for you. And on the sturgeon, since I'd never been sturgeon fishing before, they even set the hook for me because I had no clue how to set the hook on a sturgeon. So now we bass fished and steelhead fished while we were there too. We did all that ourselves, but when it came to the big fish, he wanted to ensure that I got a chance to reel one of the big boys in, and it was just a lot of fun. It was very relaxing. They really just took very good care of us. They had lunch for us, and it was just a nice day to go out on the boat, and you're not having to do all the work, because you're right. There is a lot of work when it comes to a boat. Gotcha. And when my dad and I go out on the boat, there's things that he does and there's things that I do, and we work together, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to unload the boat, load the boat, get the boat out there, set everything up, and then you're messing with your bait, and you're doing this and you're doing that. So let me tell you, folks, if you've never been on a guided fishing trip, it is probably one of the most relaxing trips that I've ever had, to where all I had to do was fish, and I didn't have to do anything else. And not a lot of us get an opportunity to do that, especially if you have small children that you like to take fishing with you. You spend your whole time, untangling knots and not really getting to fish. So a guided fishing trip is a lot of fun. So here's a friend of yours, Nelson, Lonnie. His Tucker buddy says hi.
Oh man, he came down fishing.
Yeah, he said he emailed me a pic. So let me check this out real quick.
I've got to ask you, Nelson, what county are you guys from in Pennsylvania?
I'm almost Trousdale. I am in Wilson, but I'm close to Trousdale.
In Pennsylvania?
Oh, county. I was from Cumberland County there. My parents are both from Mount Union, so they were in Huntington County. I'm
from Cambria County.
Nice.
That's where I was when I moved to Tennessee when my mom left there. I guess I was about 3 years old, but my dad still lives there, so I go back and visit.
Yeah, my parents are still there. Actually, Lonnie, speaking of Lonnie, he would come down, and when he was driving truck, he would have a stop right by my house. And then I'd just jump in and ride back with him and visit my parents, and then he'd bring me back when he came back,
That's perfect. That's a perfect setup, man.
Yeah, and then I could sleep in the cab, everything. I'd be laying back there sleeping, he'd be yelling. I'd be like,
Nelson, that's the best way to travel nowadays if you come and think about it.
Yeah.
Just rent a trucker. Yeah, hitch a ride. That's perfect.
Hey, I want to share a couple more photos with you guys real quick. Canadian Patriot says that they sent us a few pictures. Brenda. So here's a screen share here. It's young in here. Looks like they've had some fun fishing.
Or
That's
pin.
awesome.
Looks like a little gar. That's a little gar,
That is,
huh?
that's a gar.
That's a little gar. It's a gar.
Fun to catch.
Fish and hair don't care. It's a nice looking bass
that's
right
good
there.
bass. Yeah.
That's another nice looking fish right there too.
Wow.
That is a nice fish. Hey, you know those things that she's holding it up with? I was taking a picture of one, and it started flopping, and I didn't put the loop thing around my hand, and the striper went right back in the water, and it had that thing still in its mouth.
Dang it, man!
Oh man!
And my buddy was laughing. He's like, "Look at that one on the graph. There's that fish. You can see it hanging out of its mouth."
That's great. Ugh.
I got a serious question. How much of a role do you think it played a part in you fishing a lake like Raystown and coming to a place like Tennessee, where you went from learning all those techniques up there? Did it help down here once you got here?
Sure did. I would come down to my buddy Dave Broom. He was guiding on Lake Cumberland in Kentucky, and I would come down and stay with him and go fishing with him, and then fell in love with the river fishing. But the river's a totally different game than the lake. It took me some time to adjust because it's totally different, and then I would just bounce things off of other people. But yeah, the patience and stuff. Raystown is a really, really beautiful but tough fishing. So the patience and the keeping the bait alive, all that stuff. I learned everything there. But yes, it definitely helps.
Well, here's another photo I wanted to share with you guys real quick. So this is Monty and his dad. It's a nice looking catfish there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah, another thing on Raystown, between the Raystown fishing and the river fishing also is Raystown, you got that thermocline up there. And, when you're horsing these big stripers and you get them up out of that cold water, when they come into that warm water, they just want to keep jetting down. But the key thing is when they they'll tire out real quick. And then when you bring them up, it's really hard to release the fish back in the water, because when you release that fish, then of course that fish will end up dying, because with the bladder in them, you're bringing them up from the deep.
Yep.
And that
pop out,
and then it just makes them not as buoyant. And then they just roll over on their sides. And a lot of times we found a lot of stripers up there that that were floating on the water dead. And you're talking 20, 25 pounders we've seen up there floating. And, a lot of anglers think that they're doing the right thing by putting back. But, when your water's 82 degrees and you're horsing a 25 pounder up in there, it's almost impossible to return that fish back into the water.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I don't think any striper that was caught from us was put back in the water when I was young.
But down here on the river, you can release them. You can get them back in the water, and they'll be fine. Because you don't have that deep depths, like 100 and some feet in Raystown. Like I said, that affects their bladder and everything when you get them up out of the deep like that. So, we can return a lot of the fish, and down here, we like to return a lot of the bigger fish. That just keeps the industry going. If you catch every single fish, and keep every single fish, we got to learn to put back too. So, the clients, we allow the clients to, bring some fish home. You're allowed 2 apiece. And, like I say, me and Nelson, we just throw ours back. We always put ours back in.
Especially during spawning season, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely people don't realize that, but if you catch every female out there that's full of eggs, I mean, you're not gonna have the next generation. So
Exactly.
And then everybody wants to get that big fish, and then that age class, you know, you can't replace that. You got
That's
a 20-year-old fish. You take that fish, you know, and you're losing a 20-year-old fish, and you can't replace that age class, you know.
yeah,
But it's nice too. What we'll do for people too when they catch a big fish, get them pictures, and then we'll go ahead and take measurements of the fish. We'll take the weight of the fish, the measurement of the fish, you know, and then we'll hand that off to the taxidermy, and you know,
Right off of that. Yep.
you know, you can put the fish back in the water, release the fish, but then we have all that knowledge with it. And, you know, taxidermy nowadays isn't like it used to be 25, 30 years ago, you know, because back in that day, they usually used the whole fish, you know what I mean? They dried the fish and the whole 9 yards. But, you know, the industry's really, you know, helped out in the taxidermy where you can actually do that, you know, and then you can buy the forms and the molds, and then, you know what I'm saying? So you're actually still putting that fish back, but you can still have one on the wall.
exactly. Yep.
You know, so that's real nice. Smaller fish too, they taste a little bit better than a big, you know what I mean, than a 25 or 30 pounder too.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, these two guys here know I don't eat fish, but
He's a
I'm licking
weirdo.
my lip because talking to you two, I keep thinking about Pink's peppers. Do you remember? Do you remember those?
So here's your buddy Nelson sending the photos.
Look, he's even got the shirt.
Yeah, some nice looking fish there.
That is.
Nelson's got so many fish there in the center picture. He doesn't have enough arms for all the fish. All right. Well, that's your buddy that wanted to share those. So he's talking you up. He's talking you up in the chat. So it was nice to be able to share those.
We lost them and Craig for a minute.
Did we? Where'd Craig go? Oh, there they go again.
Yep.
Yeah, it's getting that time of day. Everybody's getting hungry.
Yep.
About ready to scat out of here, I think. There they are.
I'm back.
All right, you guys back with us?
We're back.
We're back.
All right. Anyway, that was some nice photos your buddy had sent me. And he'd been talking you up in the chat, and rightfully so. So pretty amazing fish that you guys took him out, and he was able to catch.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Lonnie Welker, Chris Welker, Mike Beard.
Well, gentlemen, as we come to a close today, it was a pleasure having you on the show, and we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you come back too. And if you could record some of your fishing and send it in to me early, like you did your photos, I'll get it into the show, and we can watch a little bit of your fishing. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you get down here, you're going to be addicted. You'll be here all the time.
Are you saying I might be moving to Tennessee?
He might move.
Yeah. I'm coming out hunting too.
Oh, absolutely. Come on out to Idaho. We'll plan some hunting for next season for sure. This season's already full swing. But yeah, I'd love to plan some stuff with you and Lou and Reaper and Craig and
I'd love that.
Jerry and John. There's all kinds of hunting to do out here, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about the fun.
Yep. Absolutely. So what's the one thing that you'd like to leave all the viewers today knowing about your brand or your company or your fishing trips? what's the one thing that you just like to leave with them?
Well, we're here to have fun and make sure that you have fun, whatever it is. If you're after numbers, we can go catch numbers. If you're after a big one, we can target that big one. It's all about the customer. Whatever you want to do, let's do.
Because it's your fishing trip, and we like to have anybody that's a paying customer for anywhere. You always like to have a wonderful time and make it worth your time. So just to try to make people happy, and it makes us happy when you see smiles on people's faces. I tell you, it just, it makes everything, all the hard work, worth it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. There's Nelson's email contact on the screen again, folks. If you want to reach out to him via email, you guys can reach out to him. Craig and
Yes,
Reaper, final thoughts?
Guys, I just want to thank y'all for coming on big time. I mean, really awesome to hear from y'all and see the photos. And Nelson looks like he's my kind of a guy. So he looks like he likes to cut up. So I can't wait to get to meet him.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
can't wait either. That's going to be a fun trip.
Yes, sir. We will have some hijinks. Trust me, Nelson. We will.
Yeah, yes, you got to.
I just want to thank you guys for coming on. I'll email you my information if you want to take me up on that hunting trip this season. I mean, we're in the same state, so.
And then too, if I go back to Pennsylvania to visit, you can jump a ride. I'm going through East Tennessee anyways.
That'd be perfect. Probably be in a truck. That's how he likes to travel. And truckers.
Yeah, we'll just jump Lonnie's truck.
That's it.
But
get a crock pot in there, everything, making it.
It's like a studio apartment.
Yeah, on wheels.
That's awesome. Well, we'd love to have you guys back on the show again here real soon, like I said. So
We'll be in touch.
and we will. I'll talk to you off air, Nelson, about the other things.
Okay, perfect.
I didn't want to say anything on air, but yeah, for sure. It was a pleasure having you guys on today.
It was great being here. I appreciate your time and having us. I can't wait to do more of it.
Absolutely.
We actually
Well,
hope that your family, your mom, and everything gets better, and you know what I mean, where you can get out here and get down and go fishing with us.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Have a great Saturday, and we'll talk to you here real soon.
All righty.
Sounds
Thank you.
good. Thank you.
All right. Later. Well, gentlemen, I don't know. This might be the best show yet that we've done. It's been a great Saturday having those two guests on. I don't know. It just really set the tone for the direction that we want to take this show. So thank you so much, Reaper, for getting Uncle Lou on with us. It was a pleasure meeting him. And I tell you what, I've talked to Nelson on the phone like you did with Lou, and he's just an amazing guy. He's man, he catches some hogs.
I know, huh? Grief, bigger than the people.
He catches some hogs.
Hey, Mike.
Man.
I just want to return the thanks, man. Getting those guys on here, I guess through Travis, that was awesome. I think we really did set the bar today really high, and I think we need to continue in an upward position. And thank those guys for coming on. That was crazy. I mean, two great guests in one episode.
Yep.
It's hard to beat.
Well, I'm working on another fishing one for next week. I should be able to land that fish. So we'll have another special guest next week for the fishing part of it. So we need to get a good hunter on here for our
I'm working on it.
Okay. So if you guys know people out there in the hunting and the fishing world that might want to come on the show, have them reach out to us. We'd love to have them on. I don't know. It's just another great Saturday morning. Good way to start the weekend off, right?
Amen.
Yep.
Amen.
Well,
Yes,
gentlemen,
sir.
the only bad part about the hunting show is I don't have an ending video. I need an ending video.
Yeah.
but we'll get there. So
Yeah.
I hope you guys had a great Saturday morning with me, and it's always fun.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
All right.
I want to thank everybody that showed up here today too. I know it was short notice, but seems like we got quite a few people in the chat, and that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, we held 30. We held 30 almost the whole show, pretty close to it. We're up to a whole 126 subscribers. So
we're growing.
Yeah, we went from 0 last night to 126. So they'll find us. I'll keep putting the little thumbnails out on the big channel. Let everybody know that we're over here. And the more videos that we put out is just like anything else. It'll be easier for them to find us.
Yep.
So this is only the second video on this channel. I did the intro video yesterday just to have something up. So I hope it's already getting easier to find. And guess what? The more likes, so everybody who watches this show today or tomorrow, the more likes that you give us, the easier it's going to be for people to find this channel. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share the channel if you can. We're not talking politics on this channel. That's why I created this one. No politics here. It's just about the great outdoors. So if you guys don't mind sharing it with your family and friends, that would be really amazing to help grow this channel, because it's not about politics. It's about the outdoors.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, you ready to sign off?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Well, thanks for joining me, gentlemen.
Love y'all.
Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Have a great Saturday.
You too.
We'll talk
Love
to
you.
you soon. All
Love
right.
you, brothers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.